before the Human-Demon Great War, the situation of Ronant. We know who that is. Long time no see. It has indeed been a long time, teacher. I meet with apprentice number 1, the hero Julius, for the first time in a while. It's been many years since I've seen him in person because of the interference from the Divine Word religion. I can't even meet with him properly. It's so frustrating. I'm glad to see you're doing well. Likewise, teacher. You were already an elder, yet you were here. Yet you were still on active service and full of spirit. Who do you think I am? I'll be blasting away on active service until I die. Sounds like you, teacher. Apprentice number 1 gives a refined smile. When I was taking care of him, there was still some innocence left in him, but he's already become a fully fledged adult now. Julius. Oh, Ronant-sama, when did you arrive here? The one who entered without even knocking was called Hyranth or something, I think. He is one of the apprentice number 1's comrades. Just now. He suddenly teleported in. I've told him so many times not to shock me so much by doing that, though. You still have a long way to go if you can't even perceive the teleportation omen. Ignore apprentice number 1's complaint. If I don't meet in secret like this, then Divine Word religion gets annoying. You were the same as ever. The Hyranth brat sighs, but I at least adhere to the minimum standards of decency. So, teacher and Hyranth both, what is your reason for coming to visit me? The Hyranth brat has an urgent matter, so he can go first. My matter is nothing important, just some meddling, so I can just put it off. Brat, huh? Well, I guess I might be a brat from Ronant-sama's perspective. What's wrong with calling a brat a brat? If you want to object, then you can start by trying to defeat me. Please forgive me. After a bitter laugh, the brat suddenly puts on a serious expression. Ronant-sama, what I'm about to discuss is a military secret. Sure, I got it. I promise not to disclose anything about what's happening here. The brat would have preferred it if I stepped outside, I'm sure, but he's already given up on getting me to leave. We don't know each other that well, but he understands at least that much about me. Sure enough, he begins to report with a resigned expression. Scouting units failed to return on schedule. It's probably better to consider them to be wiped out. With the brat's report, apprentice number 1's expression turns mournful. The unit deployed here, or what could be called the front lines of the humans, are different to the units you'd find elsewhere. The elite amongst the elite. Even such a scouting unit failed to return without reporting anything. That signifies just how dangerous the opponents are. Just how many of the units failed to return? All of them. Oh my goodness, that's much worse than expected. Before a major battle like this one, a scout unit was split into several teams while attempting to gather intelligence. Even if one team is discovered and annihilated, the other teams should be able to bring back intelligence. However, this time all the teams failed to return. What that likely means is that the searching ability of the opponents exceeded the stealth ability of the scouts, and on top of that, they are strong enough to speedily wipe out the scouts. In addition, it also means that there were enough enemies to launch a simultaneous attack on the dispersed scout units. It is natural for scout units to keep in contact with their companions. If any unit encounters something abnormal, they should be trained to all retreat promptly. The fact that they weren't able to do that likely means that they were attacked simultaneously. The ability to find and locate the scout units, the ability to annihilate the scout units in combat. For the enemy forces to be able to do that, it means that they must have at least as many members as the scout unit. It seems that it will be a harsh battle. Apprentice number 1 says that in a subdued voice. He's probably thinking about the members of the scout unit who became sacrifices or some such. Apprentice number 1. I better scold this foolish apprentice, so I address him in a low voice. This is you we're talking about, so I bet you're thinking about the victims from the scout unit or something. But if you have time to think about such things, then you should think about yourself instead. Teacher, what do you mean by such things? Apprentice number 1 rarely raises his voice, but he's been sensitive about the matters of life and death. It's always been sensitive. Right. I'm saying that this isn't the time to be thinking about the victims from the scout unit. Teacher, there's things that even you can say and cannot say. If you say any more, then I will not forgive you. Oh? How will you not forgive me? Against my pressure, the brat flinches. Apprentice number 1 doesn't show any agitation on the surface, but that's merely a presence. Just how are you going to not forgive me? Do you seriously think that you can defeat me or what? Stressing each word one by one, I question him in a low voice. Apprentice number 1, or the brat, one of them gulps. Don't be conceited. There's always someone better than you. It doesn't matter whether or not you're the hero. I release the pressure and poke apprentice number 1 on the forehead with my staff. That also goes for the scout unit. They performed their own duties, and due to a lack of strength, they were killed in action. It is not wrong to mourn their deaths. However, you're barking up the wrong tree if you feel responsible for their deaths. Just because you're the hero, if you think that means that you can save anything and everyone, then you're greatly mistaken, okay? Or perhaps you think that it would have been better if you yourself went out to scout. You're You're not having such misplaced thinking, right? That would be clearly stealing the duty of the ones who died, and in addition, to imply that they were too incompetent to do their own jobs would be the greatest insult. But didn't he just say that? I don't know. It couldn't possibly be that the hero of all people has such degrading and despicable thinking. It seems that apprentice number 1 couldn't think of anything to say in response to what I pointed out. He hung his head without speaking. He's always been like this. He tries to shoulder everything, that every time someone dies in war it becomes his responsibility, nobody else but his. That's how he's gotten into this misunderstanding that he can't be satisfied unless he has to save everyone. Such a thing would be impossible for even a god, though. Julius. Instead of calling him apprentice number 1, I call him by his name. Julius slowly raises his head. Remember to think about yourself on the battlefield. When people become preoccupied with other things, they may not survive even when they could have. There is always someone better than you. You should well understand that yourself, all right? Only the strong can protect others. You are weak, so weak you can't even defeat me. Teacher, you only say that because you're strong. To Julius's timid objection, I bark out a laugh. There are ones better than me, too. You should well understand that yourself, right? Since Julius likewise knows about that person, he should understand an existence with such strength that us humans couldn't possibly oppose it. You got it? If it becomes dangerous, then just run away without hesitation. You are more or less the hero after all. Compared to having the hero escape, it would be far worse for the hero to die. Get that into your skull. It'll be fine. I shall protect Julius after all. The proud is spouting some drivel. Having that come from someone more feeble than apprentice number 1 isn't persuasive at all. Ouch, that's harsh. I'm sure he took a playful attitude here in order to improve the mood, to raise his spirits so that apprentice number 1 won't head towards the battlefield depressed. His fighting strength is a bit unreliable, but he's a good friend. I guess I'll have you to protect him then. You bet. Please be at ease. As the brat intended, it seems that apprentice number 1 cheered up a bit. Even so, Ronant-sama, worrying over your apprentice and scolding him, you've got a cute side to you. I'm not particularly thinking such a thing. What the heck is this guy saying? I thought he was a good friend of apprentice number 1, but it looks like I was mistaken. Look, he's blushing. I'm not blushing, damn it, I'm going back now. Teacher, thank you for everything today. I activated the teleport and left the place. That was the final farewell between Julius and I. Yep, he dies. Alright, cool. I'll read these later. I don't need... Alright. That's the end of the show, everybody. See you next time.